So, lads, this is not a great look for the Indiana Fever organization. If you've got Caitlin Clark, the star of the Indiana Fever, she's going and seeing whatever about not seeing the Indiana Fever's doctors. Like, it is what it is with that. It is what it is. Like, I think a lot of players and teams get second opinions. But if you haven't seen here, Stephanie White says there's no update on Caitlin Clark or potential timeline. She met with another doctor, but White says she hasn't spoken with the trainer.
The superstar who brought basketball back to life in Indiana just sent the loudest message in WNBA history without uttering a single word. Caitlin Clark, the face of women's basketball, the player who fills arenas like a Taylor Swift concert, has reportedly cut off communication with the Indiana Fever's medical staff after her latest groin injury. Fans are buzzing, insiders are talking, and one thing is clear: Clark is done quietly playing by someone else's rules.
Pretty much kind of leaked out the bag to the team that she was kind of going to get a second opinion. To me, an athlete like Caitlin Clark on her level, she should have been getting these second opinions. She should have been hearing from all these other doctors, man. But Stephanie White spoke to the media yesterday. She really didn't give a whole lot, but she did say that Caitlin Clark was in New York meeting with other doctors. Now, with all of that being said, what does the timetable look like to me for Caitlin Clark coming back? I keep telling y'all, around the 17th to the 30th of August.
And honestly, it's about time someone called out this organization for treating a generational talent like a role player in someone else's story. Behind the scenes at Gamebridge Fieldhouse, the tension is real, and sources suggest Caitlin Clark might be plotting an exit from Indiana faster than anyone expected.
She has met with a different doctor. And she won't even give an update to the team. Not, oh yeah, she's met with a different doctor and we're waiting on an update. She's waiting, or not even, well, that's basically it. They're waiting on, she's gone to a different doctor and they've heard nothing.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The moment that seemed to tip the scales happened on July 15th against a Connecticut Sun. Clark limped off the court, clutching her right groin, frustration written all over her face. This wasn't just another injury report. It was what insiders are calling a Kawhi Leonard-level breaking point, where a superstar loses total faith in their own team's medical staff.
News: Caitlin Clark. Following a July 15th injury to her right groin, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week. The team can confirm that no additional injuries or damage were discovered through the evaluations. Clark will continue working with the Fever medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation, with the priority on her long-term health and well-being. There is no timetable available for Clark's return, and no additional details will be provided at this time. Any further updates will be shared as they become available.
Clark's season has been riddled with setbacks: a left groin strain, a left quad injury, and now a right groin strain. For someone who never missed a game in college at Iowa or during her rookie WNBA season, this isn't bad luck. It's a glaring pattern of medical mismanagement.
The internet noticed something specific that Holly Rowe had to say on the broadcast. Holly Rowe said that before the last return after a quad injury, she had no practice time, which, if that's actually true, like if she wasn't practicing, if she wasn't going full speed, then why was she returning to the court? And that's actually something that I pointed out. I believe it was Scott Agnes reported that Caitlin had gone full speed in practice, but there was only one practice that she had gone full speed, and then she returned to play.
The real straw came when she was rushed back from a previous groin injury, only to aggravate it almost immediately. Sources say Clark told team officials bluntly, "I'm getting my own doctors. I'm not using our doctors." She's now consulting outside specialists and refusing to share updates with the Fever's medical staff. That's a level of independence rarely seen in professional sports.
Caitlin Clark's team has made it known we are going to be holding her out until she is fully recovered. We are not going to be rushing her back at all. After taking Indiana Fever's advice, eventually Caitlin Clark needs to take matters into her own hands, make decisions for herself, and I believe that's what we are seeing with the team that she now has surrounding.
Let's break down the timeline that the Fever doesn't want you to see. On May 3rd, Clark sat out the exhibition opener due to left leg soreness. May 26 marked her first missed career game, left quad strain. In June, she was sidelined for 5 games with a left groin injury. Then, July 15th, right groin injury in the final minutes against the Connecticut Sun. By July 24th, the team announced there will be no timetable for her return. That adds up to 11 regular season games missed, plus the Commissioner's Cup final. Nearly half a WNBA season wiped out by recurring soft tissue injuries that could have been managed better with proper conditioning and medical oversight.
People are speculating that Caitlin Clark injury could be much worse than expected. You know, these type of injuries and the way she's been getting these injuries is not normal to have these strains back to back to back like this. And I said this before, Caitlin Clark's mobility is off, bro. I believe she might have came back too fast from the first. We all know the first one went down around the 25th of May. Then she came back and got re-injured around the 4th of July to the 5th, somewhere up in there of July. And then that brings us until now.
Here's where it gets really telling. Clark sought second opinions in New York without telling the Fever's medical staff. Coach Stephanie White admitted she hadn't spoken to the trainers about what Clark's outside doctors found. When your superstar goes rogue medically, this isn't just about injuries, it's about trust completely shattered. Fans hope hiring White would be an upgrade over Christy Sides. She came with credentials: 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year, a championship ring with the Fever as a player, someone who knows winning. What they got instead appears to be a coach determined to fix what wasn't broken.
The only good news about today is Caitlin Clark is no longer dealing with Stephanie White and these coaches and this Indiana Fever medical staff, trainers, doctors, none of that. She's seeing her own medical doctors, her own team. That's the only good news of today. She has abandoned the Indiana Fever medical staff, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. She's pulling a Kawhi Leonard, what he did with the San Antonio Spurs, letting it be known, hey, look, I'll get back to y'all when I'm ready. I'm going with my own medical staff. Y'all can beat it, kick rocks, and I stand with you, Caitlin Clark.
Here's the dirty truth that nobody wants to admit. Christy Sides knew how to use Caitlin Clark. Say what you will about Sid's other coaching flaws, but she grasped a key principle. When you have a generational talent, you bend the system around them, not the other way around. Sides let Clark be Clark, handed her the ball, let her dictate the pace, and magic happened. The results? Record-breaking rookie stats, a playoff appearance for the first time since 2016, and arenas sold out wherever they played. White's recent remarks about having Clark play off the ball, splitting ball handling duties, fundamentally miss what makes her special. You don't take the ball from Magic Johnson under pressure, bench Michael Jordan against a double team, or turn Caitlin Clark into a role player because your system can't handle greatness.
The problem of this team is Stephanie White. It's Stephanie White. It's not Caitlin Clark. A great player don't all suddenly sucks. That doesn't happen. It's strategic. And everybody's saying that they played better without Caitlin Clark. No. Actually, even this loss, Caitlin Clark gives them a better chance. They're under 500 without Caitlin Clark.
The strongest indicator of Clark's frustration came after the July 22nd loss to the New York Liberty. Photos surfaced showing Clark and her agent in what looked like a private meeting with Liberty coach Sandy Brondolo and stars Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu in the tunnel at Barclays Center. This wasn't a casual chat. It was a business meeting about her future. While the Fever continued to mismanage their superstar, the Liberty were clearly making a play for her eventual availability. Sources confirm Clark has essentially fired the Fever's medical team, consulting specialists in New York, and refusing to share results with team trainers. Experts note that her recurring groin and quad issues suggest either poor conditioning protocols or inadequate rehabilitation, a situation all too reminiscent of Kawhi Leonard's exit from San Antonio.
But this is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs. There's signs before eventually a player gets traded. A player eventually marks their next destination. The Indiana Fever, you're on notice. You're on notice. You better recognize what you've got going on, the asset in front of you, and you do whatever you have to do to correct what is happening.
The fact that Clark keeps suffering the same types of injuries indicates the root problem hasn't been solved. Legendary trainers, including Michael Jordan's, have spoken about groin vulnerabilities in elite athletes. This raises questions about whether Clark's medical team truly understands her style of play. Experts are clear. The Fever's approach to conditioning and injury prevention has been amateur hour. Her absence isn't just numbers on a sheet. It's a full impact on the team. Without her, the Fever are 4-6, looking competent but not championship caliber. That's the difference between a playoff contender and a title threat. It all comes down to whether they can keep their superstar healthy and motivated.
Out there, why Caitlin Clark was injured is a real thing. It's not just because she's a good player and people go hard against her. In my opinion, there's some other stuff going on there. A lot of pressure to put people in seats, to put eyeballs on the game. You come back a little early. Teams, as they should, play hard against her. Some teams go over the line and refs seem to look the other way. In my opinion, you had some of that going on with some other talent in the league as well last year. But this is different. And Stephanie White needs some blame as well. The team seems a little rudderless.
Here's the uncomfortable truth Fever fans don't want to hear. Caitlin Clark doesn't owe Indiana anything. She's delivered sold-out arenas, massive TV ratings, playoff appearances, and millions in revenue. What has the organization given her? A string of injuries, coaching instability, and a medical staff she doesn't trust. The Fever hired a coach trying to limit Clark's impact instead of maximizing it. She should be the centerpiece, with a ball in her hands nearly 90% of the time. The offense should flow at her pace, and teammates should compliment her, not the other way around. Yet White insists on fitting Clark into her system, and the results are speaking loudly.
Remember Peyton Manning when he called his own plays? He said, Tony Dungy, you run the defense, I run the offense. That's what exactly needs to happen in Indianapolis. Caitlin Clark is literally Peyton Manning. She should be calling the plays. She should run the offense. And Stephanie White call the defense.
The most frustrating part? Clark is in her prime. 23 years old, peak athleticism, and already a proven professional-level dominator. These years should be Indiana's window to build a championship team around her, not fumbling with basic medical care and coaching strategy. Every game she misses brings her closer to leaving. Sources say teams with championship-ready rosters, strong coaching, and talent-maximizing organizations are already positioning to grab her when the time comes. They wouldn't waste a prime trying to mold her into something she's not.
There is a WNBA team that have been very, very, very much in, they made it clear that they want Caitlin Clark, or they're eventually going to want Caitlin Clark. Along those lines, they made it very, very clear. And that team is the New York Liberty. I think there is a 50-50 chance Caitlin Clark leaves Indiana after her rookie season. No, after rookie contract is up.
Clark's refusal to engage with the Fever's medical staff isn't just about this latest injury. It's a pattern born from being rushed back previously and a coaching staff that doesn't utilize her properly. When a once-in-a-generation talent stops trusting your organization's basic operations, health, training, and positioning, it's not a temporary spat. The Fever are so wrapped up in systems and protocols that they forgot the most critical rule in professional sports. When you have a generational talent, you do everything possible to keep them happy and healthy.
This is the first time I haven't felt like a young body that can run around and sprint every day and just continue to do that, Clark said in an event during All-Star Weekend per Glamour. Being a professional athlete, you really have to take care of both your body and your mind. It's been a journey learning about that.
Clark's body language tells a story her statements won't. She's visibly emotional after her latest injury, covering her head with a towel, frustration clear on her face. She's consulting outside doctors, holding private meetings with other teams, and showing all the signs of a player who isn't committed long-term. White talks about Clark playing off the ball. The medical staff keeps losing her trust. She shouldn't risk her health for the team she doesn't trust, and she shouldn't have to carry an organization that undervalues her. The choice is simple for Indiana. Build around Caitlin Clark the right way, or watch her take her talent elsewhere. Right now, every move is pushing away the best thing that's ever happened to their franchise. The clock is ticking, and Caitlin Clark's patience has officially run out.